I wouldn't be surprised if you have kids who basically one day wanting to grow up to be basically kick-ass fighters and pilots like T-Bone and Razor.
Where can we drop you off, Lieutenant?
Thanks, but I can find my own way down.
And the other thing that could have in theory basically also helped end this get the SWAT Cats canceled, but that's just one person's perspective. What I've heard is the toy line was very awkward, but
It was
that was
crappy.
yeah, you said it
The,
better. It was crap.
it was it was crappy merchandising that went with this, because it's like Hanna-Barbera did not really want to, you know, put the money into actually producing quality merchandise for the SWAT Cats.
I think it was more because they were caught, like the Tremblay brothers themselves said, they were caught off guard by how successful SWAT Cats became, and they weren't sure how to handle it. They were caught completely blind. And I saw this directly from an interview from the Tremblay brothers themselves.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think.
So if they did make merchandise, I would be expecting like figures and the jet thing. To be
And
honest,
the figures would most likely be very, very expensive at this point in time, had they been made like with quality back then.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm going to show a picture in the chat here, which can probably be put in a video. But this was like the two figures of Razor and T-Bone, which
wow,
doesn't look that great.
That is awkward.
it almost looks like one of those like like Chinese bootleg figures and stuff you would get.
Yeah, but again, I think they were just completely caught off guard by how successful it was.
Like this is supposed to be Dark Cat.
Ugh.
That looks nothing like Dark Cat.
That's because the original concept of Dark Cat was essentially, it was initially supposed to be a cyborg, not a demonic alchemist. So
Right.
that was it. Like when they drafted these, this was the initial stages.
Well, it's kind of like with Sonic the Hedgehog, for example. Like if you take a look at the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie, when they did the redesign, they still had the production of the old design Sonic. That if you've seen the merchandise for something like that came out completely like crap and looks nothing like the movie. But that was because this is what they had. The toy manufacturers, which probably from China, whatever, had to submit.
But yeah, I think we've covered like at least a good chunk of the synopsis at this point.
Yeah.
Might as well move
So
on
I
to
feel like we
the
could what we
protagonists and
go into
such.
now is where we talk about the characters of the show, like the major ones and the important.
Okay, so we got Chance Furlong, aka T-Bone. He's primarily the Turbo Cats pilot. He's the stronger of the two. And he basically, ironically, he incidentally has a fear of swimming and a fear of bugs.
My mama must have put agricite in my cereal when I was a kitten, Jake.
Both of which he eventually overcame. He's actually very relatable as a character because he loves watching cartoon shows, like basically anyone who's in their late teens, early 20s, like when they're
Or me.
He was best friends. He and his best friend Jake Clausen, aka Razor, were basically former enforcers, which were basically the military police of Cat City. And they both regularly compete in G-force training, hand-to-hand combat, in even hot pepper contests. And occasionally compete over the attention of the Deputy Mayor Callie Briggs.
What were you doing way out there, Callie?
Didn't you guys hear? The SWAT Cats shot down Morpulus. They were magnificent.
Oh, they fucking what? They're just saying hi to each other.
When do you think I can pick up the car?
Jake will start on it right away. You can wait for it.
Oh, they fucking look at them sparks. They're just talking to each other.
I'll be happy to drive you.
No need. Mayor Manx is waiting for me outside. One of the perks of being deputy mayor. Thanks, Chance.
Oh, they fucking. Oh, they fucking.
Yeah.
And at one point, he actually was implied to have held very strong feelings for one of the major villains, kind of a one-off villain, Turmoil.
I'm gonna be in town for a couple more days, Dragon Daddy.
Okay.
Maybe you come over and we spend some time alone.
Okay.
Maybe you call in advance so I can call room service.
Okay.
Maybe you bring some wine and rose petals to set the mood!
Okay.
As for Razor, he is a mechanic, gunner, and maintenance expert. He's basically he was considered the best shot of pretty much all the enforcers during his time working under them, and basically created all of the SWAT Kats weapons. Has also been nicknamed Hotshot and Sure Shot by T-Bone on occasion. And the one thing compared to T-Bone is that his backstory was not revealed very much, if at all, which was kind of a plot hole for me. Which is sad because Briggs is pretty much my favorite character. Like, he's basically the brains of the operation, so to speak. Then we got Callie Briggs, who's the mayor, well, deputy mayor, I should say. She's also one of the SWAT Kats' biggest supporters and their informant. And basically handles all the day-to-day stuff for the city hall because, let's face it, her boss is basically a useless little bitch. And ironically, someone actually noted this to me. She plays a very similar role to one Miss Bellum for the Powerpuff Girls. Then we have Commander Farrell. Crossy, get out of your system now.
When I see Commando Farrell, I'm just gonna put this input before you bring some info real quick. When I see Commando Farrell and how he like legit hates the SWAT Kats or blames them or considers them villains, it gives me a lot of like Lex Luthor vibes, where he would consider Superman a villain and all that. You know what I mean?
And for those who don't know, Commander Ulysses Farrell is basically the commander of the Enforcers, and unknown to many, he was directly responsible for the SWAT Kats being fired from the Enforcers.
We're just about to move in. If you'd like to stay and watch the fireworks.
Fireworks? Commander, you can't fire this close to the reactor.
And what do you suggest I do?
Excuse me, I'm Snobby von Persnickety bitch.
I'm glad you both agree, because this is the last act of vandalism you will ever perform on this city.
Did you know that I actually eat good for breakfast and regurgitate it as evil? It's a delightful practice.
And because of a screw-up on his part, they ended up not only taking the fall, but they basically are working at a salvage yard for however long it takes to pay off the damages to the building at the time of his screw-up.
Stand back, SWAT Kats. The Enforcers will handle this.
Yeah, you've been handling it real well every fucking series. I'm sure you'll handle it again.
Well, the thing is, let's be honest here with Farrell. He has to thank the SWAT Kats because otherwise he wouldn't have a job.
Not to mention, to be
he's that
fair,
bad.
One reviewer pointed this out as well. Part of the reason Farrell hates the SWAT Kats is because they literally do his job far better.
The SWAT Kats! What are they doing here?
Your job, Farrell.
If I remember correctly, I think you uploaded a clip of that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably put it in the review.
But yeah, he basically, where the SWAT Cat's concerned, he basically has a very short fuse, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Part of the reason he hates the SWAT Kats, though, and this is kind of understandable from his viewpoint, he is not under the same, what's the word? He has a lot more restrictions on how he basically carries out his operation compared to the SWAT Kats. The SWAT Kats don't have to worry as much about collateral damage as he does, sad as it is. And he kind of despises them for it. Because it's, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of obvious he wants to do more, but he can't because of all the restrictions he's got. And I can kind of sympathize. However, that doesn't excuse him from how he screwed them over. Make no mistake.
It was our tag, Commander. None of this would have happened if you hadn't interfered, sir.
That's it! You're off the force! Both of you!
Right.
He's also tried to have them arrested on multiple occasions. But here's the thing that actually makes him stand out as a character. Despite the fact that he can't stand them, he is not willing to compromise his integrity. Which is good.
Wait! Farrell, put that thing down and we'll tell you the secret identities of the SWAT Kats!
Yeah, we found out who they are!
And so can you! Just let us go!
Yeah, that's the deal.
I don't deal with scum.
Commander, you surprise me. You could have...
Don't make a big deal about it.